Welcome to our new polity classes. Today I am going to start a new topic in our polity session. I hope till now all of you have cleared all your doubts regarding all the sections of polity classes. Today I am going to start a really vast topic, that is Parliament of India. It is not just about for an UPSC aspirant, but it is also the most important chapter for all the citizens of India. During the election time, people really feel that only go to the election and participate in election and just casting your vote is the democracy. It is not just democracy. Okay, you should know about what is the parliament, what is the role, function, composition of the Parliament of India. You must know. It must be aware about all citizens about the compositions, the procedures, the process about the Parliament of India. So I hope I will try my best to understandable make this topic. Okay, so let's start today. This is our new topic. Okay, this is the Parliament. Fine. So be attentive. Sure. Parliament of India consists of two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. I hope this may know all of you. Parliament of India consists of three bodies, but I am mentioning here only two bodies, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. These both bodies are a constitutional body. Okay, so it is a constitutional body. Parliament itself describes in the Constitution of India. So anyone will ask you that you know about Parliament, but tell me that Parliament derives its power from which source? Then what will you reply? Your reply should be that Parliament of India derives its power from the Constitution of India itself. Okay, so let's move to the next slide and we will go a very deep inside the today's topic. See, what is Westminster model? See, after independence, the founding fathers of our constituent assembly tried really hard to adopt best method, okay, to the procedure, functions, compositions, process for our parliament. But at that time, since Westminster model was the best model considered according to the versatility of India, that is why the founding fathers chosen the Westminster model for India. But it is not known as Westminster model in our country. Okay, it is known as parliamentary system in our country. Okay, fine. So what is Westminster model? Westminster model is a model of Britain. It is a British model where two houses functions according to Westminster model, that is, see here, that is House of Lords. Fine, House of Lords. Second is House of Common. Fine, first is House of Lords, second is House of Common. As in India there are two houses like Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, in the same way as we have adopted from the Westminster model, and the Westminster model of Britain says that there will be two houses in Britain. First one is House of Lords and second one is House of Common. So both the versions has been adopted by founding fathers of our India and put inside the Constitution of India in the parliamentary functions of India, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Okay, this is enough. This is enough about Westminster model. UPSC is not going to ask what is Westminster model or how Westminster model has been adopted in England. It is not going to be asked at all. Okay, so please read only the topics only till that point where you are required to pass the examination, not go really deep inside. If what students do that, if any students find any interesting topic, then that students really go deep inside that topic and he puts his time and consumes more and more time on that topics, but please don't behave like that quality. Okay, you should knowledge of like or random knowledge. Okay, since our classes name is a smart study. Okay, so you have to be a smart really hard. Fine, so we will move to the next slide that will tell about the detail inside the parliamentary functions, the procedures, composition and so on. So let's see. I have already told you that Parliament of India consists of three constitutional bodies. Number one, it is President. Number two, it is House of People. Number three, it is Council of States. It is possible that you may not hear these both points, but it is just a subtitle of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Parliament, during the classes of Union Executive Authority, I have taught you 5 bodies, that is President of India, Vice President of India, Prime Minister of India, Union Councils of Ministers, and the 5th one, the day before yesterday, I have taught you about which one? Attorney General of India. So these are the 5 bodies which are under the part of Union Executive Authority of India. There is an interesting thing that about President, that President is an executive as well as President plays the role of in the functions of Parliament too. President is not a legislative part, but since any bills becomes during the lectures of President, I have told you that any bill will become act only when act law only when President will sign on that bill. So in a way, if any bill passed by both the houses, it means passed by Lok Sabha and after passed by Rajya Sabha, or it may pass by Rajya Sabha then Lok Sabha, then it not becomes an act. That's only till at that time it's only a bill, not act or law. Only when after passing the bill from both the houses of Indian Parliament, only the President, when President will sign on that bill, it becomes a law or act. That is why we consider that President is a part of Parliament. Okay. So President in Indian democracy, President plays the function of Union Executive Authority as well as Parliamentary function system. So I hope you have got my point, what I want to say. I hope you will getting it. So there are 3 constitutional bodies which consist Indian parliamentary system. The first one is President. Why President? I have just told you. I hope you will get these points. The second is House of People. House of People means what? Please don't memorize this. Just understand. You will easily remember all those things. House of People means house. It means Sabha, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So it is Sabha, House of People. So people vote for what? Either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Tell me. During the general election of 2019, all the Indian citizens who have voted for political parties for the formation of government, for which house they have voted, either it is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, it is Lok Sabha. So it was House of People and it is House of People. So people is electing their representatives and their representatives sit in that house. So it is Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? It is Lok Sabha. I hope you will get it. It is Lok Sabha. In Westminster model in Britain, it is termed as House of which? House of Common. Okay. House of Common or House of People. So in Britain, under Westminster model, it is known as House of Common. In India, it is known as Lok Sabha, House of People as well as lower house too. Lower house too. Why lower house? You will get it after few slides. Okay, I will tell you. Right now, if I want to tell you, then it will be so complex that it will be very tough for me to understand this slide. Okay. So, as well as for you, okay, I will get confused in that sections and you will get too. That is why I will clear this point after few slides, that why it is called lower house and why Rajya Sabha is called as upper house. So in Britain, House of Common is known as lower house. And now coming to the next one, that is Council of States. Okay, that is Council of States. Fine, that is Council of States. So in India, it is called as Council of State means a state is participating in the election. Okay, fine. So now it is Council of States. I hope you are really getting about. You don't try to look what I am writing. Okay, you also tried. You should try. You must try that what is written here. Council. Okay, councils means a group of some special people. It is council of a states. So if a state is participating to sit in the house, that is known as council of a state, and that is known as Raj Sabha. Okay, that is known as Raj Sabha. Fine. In Britain, council of states is known as House of Lords. House of Lords. UPSC is not going to ask this simple questions that in Britain which house is called as House of Lords and giving 4 examples, and you will mark the correct answer that House of Lords is known as the upper house. No, UPSC is not going to ask this kind of simple questions. They will ask the conceptual questions, but you will solve those conceptual questions only when you will get these points. Otherwise you are not going to solve the any one examination. Okay, in particularly for UPSC. Fine. So it is looking simple, but you have to know. That is why your conceptual will be clear, your conceptual part will be really handful to you, all of you. Fine. So it is council of states. It is council of states. In Britain it is known as, please don't demoralize yourself by asking and by saying what right now said that. It is not really asking by UPSC, but what UPSC will going to ask you, I will also tell you. Okay, but if you not understand it, you will not going to memorize and understand the next slides. Okay, fine. So in Britain it is not termed as House of Common, it is termed as House of Lords, and in India it is also known as upper house. Upper house. Okay, so I am repeating it again because it looks little bit complex by writing. So please, in 1 minute I am repeating it. In India, parliamentary system consists of 3 constitutional body. Number 1, president. Why president? Because any bill will become law or act only when president will sign on it. Okay. Second, house of people. Representatives elected by people, and those people sit in the house, that is known as House of People, that is also known as Lok Sabha, also known as lower house. In Britain, that house is known as House of Common. Third thing is that councils of a state, that is known as Raj Sabha, because states are directly participating, not peoples of a state. Not people of a states are participating in council of a state, but representatives of a state, representatives of each and every state participate in Raj Sabha elections. That is why it is known as council of a state. It is known as Raj Sabha. It is also known as upper house, and in Westminster model it is known as House of Lords. Fine. I hope this slide is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide, and that will tell you about the procedures, function, composition, okay, of Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha too. Only then you will get a fluent section in parliamentary functions of India. So first of all we will see about Lok Sabha. After that we will come on Raj Sabha. Today we will finish Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. Okay. So let's start about Lok Sabha. So what is the composition of Lok Sabha? Okay. It will be little bit factual, but please don't memorize it. This part doesn't need to memorize itself for UPSC examination. What things you should know from this part I will tell you during the lecture talking. Okay. So let's see composition of Lok Sabha. Indian Constitution provides and gives the power that maximum parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. Since here we are talking about Lok Sabha, so Indian Constitution provides that Lok Sabha can consist maximum 552 members. 552 members. Okay, 552 members, from which 530 members should be elected from states, not from Delhi, Puducherry, Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, okay, Daman Diu, Dadra Nagar Haveli, not from states like UP, Bihar, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, MP and so on. Okay, 20 will be elected from union territories. There are maximum 20 people will be elected. From a state it will be maximum 530. So total it is 550. It is a maximum part. 2 nominated members. Indian Constitution provides by Article 331 that two Anglo-Indian members will be nominated by President of India in Lok Sabha. Okay, Article 331 provides that two Anglo-Indian will be nominated by President of India for Lok Sabha membership. Okay, right now it is not in function, and why and by which amendment I will tell you another slide. So I hope this is clear to all of you. So I am moving to the next slide right now. See, there is an interesting thing that a states, okay, how representatives of Lok Sabha is being elected in a states. In a states it is 530 members. So how these 530 members will be elected for Lok Sabha? It is directly elected. It is directly elected. I hope this is the simple one, you will get it, because anyone who is preparing for UPSC examination, I hope those all are above at least 16 years or 17 years minimum. Okay, fine. So it is the election that held in general election, that is 2019, for the election of Prime Minister of India. That is general election, that is election of Lok Sabha, and from a state it is directly elected. People of Uttarakhand, Bihar, UP, MP and Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra and so on, these people will elect their representatives directly by casting their vote. Okay, in 2024 Lok Sabha election, all the Indian citizens who is above 18 years of age will participate in that elections. Second one is that UTs. It means Union Territories. How those 20 members of Lok Sabha will be elected for the membership of Lok Sabha. So those are cleared by direct election, but not like this one, a state. It is little bit different. Okay, so it is done by a special act. Okay, that act is known as Direct Election to the House of People Act 1965. Okay, Direct Election to the House of People Act 1965. Through this method, through this process, representatives of Lok Sabha from Union Territories is being elected. So what is Direct Election to the House of People Act? It doesn't need to know. If you want to know, please contact us, or otherwise time will be remain in upcoming times. I will take separate classes. It will take 4 to 5 classes for doing these kinds of topics, because these topics are not necessary for our examination, since we are not go deep inside in this act. Okay, just know that for Union Territories it is little bit different from states, and for Union Territories it is known as Direct Election to the House of People Act 1965. And since, listen my words carefully, if another slide remaining, please, moving slide. No. Okay, so I will tell it later, but right now I am telling you about nominated members. Right now, before 2020, two Anglo-Indian members were present in Lok Sabha, nominated by the President. Okay, after 2019 it is being finished. Now no need for President to nominate two Anglo-Indians for the membership of which one? Lok Sabha. So it is redeemed by which Amendment Act? It is redeemed by 104th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, 104th Constitutional Amendment 2019. By 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2019, the provision of nomination of Anglo-Indian by the President for the membership of Lok Sabha is being abrogated, removed, redeemed. Okay, so now it is not present. That is why I have not mentioned in that slide. I have talked you only about states and union territories. Okay, so this is about nominated members. This is important because this is the current affairs of recent past. So it may possible that EPSC may ask question basis on Anglo-Indians. Okay, that it means question that why Indian Constitution provides Anglo-Indians memberships nomination type of done by President of India. It may come or it may not come. So this kind of question may come. So why? Because clearly Indian Constitution said that till that time, only till that time, President will appoint 2 Anglo-Indians in Lok Sabha only till that time when their representation will not be adequate. Okay, whenever President will feel that, or Parliament of India, Lok Sabha of India, Parliament of India feels that it is the time to redeem it, because now the representation of Anglo-Indian is comes at a level, okay, at a playing level field. So now it is time to remove it. So at that time Parliament of India can remove it. Okay, that is why it is removed. And why it was given? Because at that times there was no adequate representation in the Indian political system for the Anglo-Indians. Okay, fine. The details we will do in men's answer writing practice sessions. I will take separate answer writing practice sessions. Okay, in few days, after few days I will take. So what do you think? That, see, there are total 552 seats in Lok Sabha. So how these seats are being determined, that how many seats it will be? So it is fixed by Constitution of India. But how it is done, that which state will get how many seats? Like UP, it is 80 seats. UP has 80 Lok Sabha seats. Okay, Bihar has almost 40 Lok Sabha seats. So how it is determined that which state will get how many Lok Sabha seats? So it is determined by census. Okay, census, populations, on the population, basis of populations. Which state have how much populations, the seats of Lok Sabha will be determined according to that populations. And the population will be determined by not by 2011 census, not by 2011 census. It is determined by 2001 census. According to the census of 2001, the population is determined for the allocation of seats for Lok Sabha to each and every state. Fine. Listen my sentence again. Not by 2011 census, but it is 2001 census, according to which the allocation of seats of Lok Sabha is being determined for each and every state. I hope this is clear to all of you. I hope so. So we are moving to the next slide and we will see that what is next slide saying. I hope all of you are getting really entertaining of this topic and enjoying this topic, and not only enjoying but perceptual participation also taking in it. Okay, now reservation for SCs and STs. See, there are some seats of Lok Sabha, there are seats of Lok Sabha where particularly scheduled castes and scheduled tribes seats has been reserved, that only scheduled castes people can contest the election of that constituency. Constituency means if UP has 80 Lok Sabha seats, means there are total 80 constituency in Lok Sabha for UP. Okay, so constituency will be decided by whom? It is done on the basis of population by 2001 census, but it is done by Delimitation Commission of India, that is led by Election Commission of India. During the initial lectures I have clarified all these things. Okay, so I hope if you are not getting it, I will not go really deep inside it because it will waste my time and waste all of your times. So if you are not getting it, what is Delimitation Commission and Election Commission of India, see my previous lectures. Okay, so reservation for SC and STs. See, initially after independence, what happened that since there are no adequate representation of SCs and STs in Indian political system, so at that time what happened, that the founding fathers thought that these people, SCs and STs, groups of people should also have adequate representation in Indian political system. That is why there is a provision given in Indian constitution of reservation for the election of Lok Sabha. Okay. So initially it was given only for 10 years. Fine. It was given only for 10 years. So initially it was only till 1960. Okay. But since due to some political motivation and political, what those things going on in Indian political history, Indian political systems, okay, Indian political parties, what do all of you know? Okay, they do good things too, and they do little bit, not I will say bad things, but they do balancing things too, okay, in Indian political system. So that is why after 1960 it is continuing at the present time too. Fine. So it is continuing till 2000. So it is being finished in 2000, but in 2000 again, each and every 10 years this will be again increased by few amendments. So in 2000 it will be increased by which amendment act? It will be increased by 95th Amendment Act. So 95th Amendment Act 2000 provides and these reservations for SCs and STs for the membership of Lok Sabha for another 10 years. That is for 2010. Okay, fine. Again, since it was finished in after 10 years and again after 10 years, so it was finished in when 2020 it is being finished in last 2019 or in initial 2020. So by 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2019 again it is increased for 10 years. So now it is for 2030 almost. Fine. So whichever political parties have come in power, nobody have tried, I am not saying to eliminate, but nobody has tried to find out actual reason that why these peoples are not getting adequate representation. Okay. So it is a separate matter. It is not our matter and not our talking behavior. Okay. So I will tell you that 104th Constitutional Amendment Act 2019 provides another 10 years reservation for SCs and STs group of people for the memberships of Lok Sabha. Fine. So it is a recent past, so it is also important one, and this is the same act through which the provision of nomination of Anglo-Indians to Anglo-Indians nomination by President of India has been abrogated, has been removed. So this is the same Constitutional Amendment Act, and by the same Amendment Act it is increased by 10 years reservation for SCs and STs in Lok Sabha memberships. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. So can I move to the next slide, students? So I am moving to the next slide. Okay. Yeah, this is territorial representation. See, I hope I am not consuming more times. Okay, I am trying to teach you each and every important parts about parliamentary function. If any point will be missed, I will tell you in next session. It's be sure. Okay, don't hesitate in asking me. It's territorial representation. Territorial representation means, since there are two types of representation follow in India, one is territorial representation and another is proportional representation. So territorial representation is being applied for the election of Lok Sabha and proportional representation is being applied for Rajya Sabha election. What is proportional representation? I have told you during the lecture of how election of president, how President of India is elected. In that session, I have given you example and whole calculation about proportional representation. Okay. So I am not going deep inside proportional representation during the next slides of Rajya Sabha. If you want to know, then go to that lectures of how president is elected, what is the procedures. So territorial representation means territory wise. Okay, territory wise means region wise, means area wise. Okay, means region wise. Since our Prime Minister is an MP and member of Lok Sabha, from which region? From Varanasi. So it is automatically you can get it that yes, it is territorial representation. It is based on region, area, constituency. From Varanasi constituency, our Prime Minister is being elected as an MP. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. So we are moving to the next slide. I hope about Lok Sabha it is clear to all of you. Yes, it is cleared. So now we will talk about Rajya Sabha. Say students, if anything remain, if any important things remaining about Lok Sabha, that will be covered in next session, okay, and the new sessions. So now talk about Rajya Sabha. I have already told you it is also called as lower house, council of states, okay, lower house and council of states. So we are moving deep inside Rajya Sabha topic and moving to the next slide, okay. So I hope till now you have cleared all the things. So we are moving to the next slide. See what is the composition. There are total 250 members. There is provision in Indian constitution that you can't increase more than 250 members in Rajya Sabha. Okay, 230 from states, like in Lok Sabha it is from separate from, in Lok Sabha I am just repeating it, 230 states it was 230, union territories it was 20, right now it is, because no nominated members. But in Rajya Sabha it is a states plus UTs, there is nothing separation here, okay, there is nothing separation, it is done combinedly. So it is 238. So where is 12 gone? So 12 will be nominated members. Here 12 will be nominated members nominated by President of India. Those nominated members should qualified in a special fields. What are those special fields? I will tell you next slides. But remember that out of 250 Rajya Sabha members, 238 members will be elected from states plus union territories, and the remaining 12 nominated members for Rajya Sabha, that will be nominated members. So I am moving to the next slide, okay. I hope this is clear to all of you guys. So I am moving to the next slide. See, fourth schedule of Constitution of India, COM is Constitution of India, I have just written in short form, okay. So fourth schedule of Constitution of India talks about fourth schedule of, according to third schedule, what I have told you, that every ministers, even prime minister takes oath according to third schedule of the Constitution of India, and president takes oath according to article 60 of the Constitution of India. Article and schedule is different, please don't combine it, that article and schedule remember in the same way, no, fine. So fourth schedule of the Constitution of India talks about how allocation of seats for Rajya Sabha will be done. Allocation of Rajya Sabha seats will be done. It is told by whom? It is told by fourth schedule of the Constitution of India. So see how Constitution of India provides each and everything detailed in the Constitution, okay. So moving to the next slide. Yes, this is about, see, a states, for states how it is done, that see, it is based on population, okay, it is based on population. According, see how election of Rajya Sabha is being held, it is a separate matter, I will tell in separate session, but since it is necessary for me to tell you something about a summary type, so I will tell you, okay. So just see here what happened, that I will give you just overview, okay. I will take a separate session of election of Rajya Sabha. See what happened, that suppose UP is a most largest country, UP is the largest state or largest territory in our country, okay. It is UP, suppose, so it is the large, so it has the most number of members. Legislative Assembly of UP has most number of MLAs, members of legislative assemblies. Which state have how much population, the membership of legislative assembly is being determined. So if population is more, number of legislative assemblies, that is MLA, members of legislative assemblies, will be more. If population will be less, automatically, if there are 1000 people, then for representing 1000 people, if there are 10 representatives enough, then what do you think that for 1 lakh, is it should be 10 representatives only to handle all these 1 lakh people, to represent all these 1 lakh people? Not at all, na? So it will be more, automatically it should be more, it must be more. That is why I have talked you here. So what happened that these MLAs of each and every respective states taking participate in the election of Raj Sabha. Raj Sabha elections, during election of Raj Sabha, people of India is not going to cast their vote. These MLAs cast their vote. These MLAs cast their vote for the election of Raj Sabha memberships. Okay, these people are not contesting the election of Raj Sabha. No, if want to contest, then first of all he have to resign from the position of MLA. Only after that he can contest the election of Raj Sabha. Actually, suppose if person A, B, C contestant for 3 seats for 3 seats for Raj Sabha memberships, so these people will vote for these 3 persons. Okay, for Raj Sabha memberships. Fine. So this is the procedures follow. In an overview type, I will take separate session for that. So in a states it is done by this kinds of, but in UTs it is done by different methods. It is done by ideally different methods. That is an indirectly election. That is an election not like a state. Okay. So only 2 union territories participate in the election of Raj Sabha. That is Delhi and Puducherry. That is Delhi and Puducherry. Only 2 union territories participate in the election of members of Raj Sabha. Why others not? Because it is not because they do not have legislative assembly. It is because they have actually a very few numbers of populations. That is why it is not being done. Okay, fine. Nominated members, 12 nominated members. Who will be come in that 12 nominated members? Anyone who have a special knowledge in art. Remember this, art, literature, science and social service, because anyone will give another things. Okay, so UPSC may ask these things, and even UPSC have asked earlier these things. Okay, so only those 4 things, art, literature, those, see, 12 nominated members for Raj Sabha. So president will nominate, not appointed, president will nominate those 12 members only who have a special knowledge about art, literature, science and social services. Excluding it, not at all. Only from these 4 sections who have a special knowledge about that. President can nominate those 12 members. Fine. So moving to the next slide. And our next slide is about, is it clear? Previous slide was? Yeah, it is clear to all of you. Just move to the next slide. Fine. So I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, students. So we will move tomorrow with a new slides relating to the Parliament of India. Okay, fine. So thank you, students. We will meet tomorrow. Thank you so much.